Hello.
So let me start by saying, well, first off, I loved the movie. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
I thought it was very important. So a couple of years ago, I was in the hospital getting my gallbladder out. They cut it out, and I was there for 8 days, and I had all the morphine and Percocet I could take.
Good stuff.
And from what I understand, if you come out with, whether you come out with or without, a crippling lifelong addiction, is like dependent so largely on just like luck, the luck of the draw. Like, is there enough, I don't know, oversight or research into what causes people to become addicted to this type of substance?
Such an excellent question. That's one of the things that inspired me to write the film. I lost people to the opioid issues in my personal life. I have friends who aren't around anymore. And, this is back 10 or 15 years ago when not so much was known. When I started writing the film, I linked up with some reporters at the Los Angeles Times who had been looking into the pharmaceutical companies and their research process in getting some of these painkillers approved through the FDA. And there was an idea that there was information that showed that, as you observe from your own personal experience, everybody's body reacts differently to these drugs. Some people can take a painkiller, oxycodone, morphine, whatever it is. They take it for 20 days, 30 days, no problem. They go off it, great. But somewhere as much as 20 to 50% of average everyday citizens will take the drug and they will become dependent because of their brain chemistry, because of their body chemistry. It's just how their particular body is built, just as one man is tall and one man is short, So it affects everybody differently. The question is, who knew what when, and were the proper safeguards in place to protect people from what could happen to them, which is they become dependent through no fault of their own. And as we explore in the movie, we see Gary Oldman's character is a whistleblower. He's a biologist, a researcher working on behalf of a drug company who has, supposedly a non-addictive wonder drug. But guess what? Some people might become addicted to this drug. Maybe millions of people. And he's up here on Mount Olympus when, Evangeline Lilly's character, Michelle Rodriguez's character, they're in the trenches fighting the drug war and trying to stop diversion. That's what happens to people after they get addicted. So if you came, Zach, out of the hospital and you were unlucky enough to have that need, where would you go to get the drugs if you couldn't get them anymore? You'd probably go to the street. And so a whole gangster industry springs up to service that, a smuggling industry. That's one of the things we wanted to explore.
Sure. Now, I'm glad you mentioned Gary. He has a, we're buddies, so I call him Gary. He has an executive producer credit. Tell me, was he like involved on the ground level, or, what influence did he have over the production with that?
Absolutely. Well, Gary, is a wonderful actor. I've admired him for years. We've seen him in True Romance. We've seen him in Darkest Hour, which was right when I met him here in Hollywood. We had a mutual friend, and I went and met him in Darkest Hour, and we started talking about another project. But I was writing this script at the time, and it really felt urgent. And so I said to Gary, hold on a second, let's put that on pause. What about this? Boom. He immediately said, this is it. This is urgent. We got to do this one. And he came onto the project as a producer along with us and said, you know what, I'll help you. You can use my name, use my involvement, to go get the money and attract the other cast. So he was instrumental in putting this film together and has been a terrific supporter. I don't think it would exist without his faith.
Sure. And when you're writing and directing, these terribly complex, interwoven narratives that, they all start in different places within the same, ecosystem, that same sphere, and the way they cross in and out of each other. Tell me a little bit about the challenge of writing that. And when you're writing it, do you have a diagram, with, red string connecting everything together?
Well, there is a bit of tinfoil hat to the writing process, I must admit. I look at it as a way you're sort of excavating the subconscious or the unconscious mind. And so I start out with a notion, okay, I want to look at the opioid issue, and how do I do that? It's terribly complex, as you say. So I got to find a way to simplify it and synthesize it and make it thrilling and emotional. And I got the idea of these characters on my mind, Gary's character, Evangeline, Kinnear, whoever. And so I have these different storylines. And then I just got to figure out, okay, what would happen here? What would happen here? And I got the stories individually, and I write, down a little outline of the story. Then I start merging them together. Okay, but this is only one step of the journey. There, I start to generate a script draft. At that point, then I go to Gary Oldman, I go to the actors, and I say, okay, well, how would you look at this? Because you're a great student of human nature. And they come in with their ideas, and they say, no, wouldn't happen like that. Wouldn't he go first to the place and ask, oh my God, I left that out. So an actor can really do in an hour what would take you a week sitting in the dark room because you've lost perspective, right? So now you get their perspective. This only enhances the script. This was a process the great director Sidney Lumet used on Dog Day Afternoon and other films with Al Pacino. He would tape record conversations with the actors, then integrate that into the script. Okay, now we beefed up the script. We go out and shoot. All this great things happens when we're shooting, moments we never expected, and we got the footage, we got the gold bars, hopefully now we come back in the editing room, and we were in the editing room on this for 7 months, trying. I had, my friend Taika coming in here, the director. I had Mark Forrester, Eli Roth, all these people. What do you think? Working with my editors, giving me an editor. We'd have different machines running different rooms, cutting, trying different things, much. And, there is a process of trial and error to it. At the end, it looks all integrated. But, if you came in here, you would see the tinfoil hat with the red lines and the boards and the madness, but that's the job. That's why we're here, ultimately to hopefully give you a good experience, and there was a lot of behind the scenes hamsters to get you there.
Sure. I'm thinking about, when you're writing these characters, and, I won't spoil anything in the movie, but some characters have better endings than others in terms of, not better as in, objective, but like better as in just their status in the world. Now, I'm wondering about, like, as a writer, when do you decide to take pity on a character and give them a win? And when do you go, oh, well, sorry for the story, you got a X, Well,
no, it's a great question, Zach. I mean, I think there's an organic process to it. I think with a film like this, if everything had a happy ending, it wouldn't quite feel right. But at the same time, if everything had a terrible ending, people go, oh, gee, did I really need to see that? So what I really wanted to do was to inspire some hope with this story. Here you have, 3 main characters, and they're all kind of every men, every women, but they find themselves in extraordinary circumstance. And the question becomes, what will they do and how far will they go to get what they want? In this case, I think their motives are pretty pure. They want to help society, or they want to solve the mystery, that the wrong that's been done, right or wrong. So I think through the course of that, just like in our own lives, we have to lose things. We have to go through pain. But at the end, hopefully we come out on top. I mean, I hope that's where you and I end up. And I have the same hope for my characters. So I leave the door open. They don't get everything. They don't get quite what they want, but perhaps they get what they need.
Sure.
And that's the type of film I like.
Yeah, I like that it's a film that explores this, oppressively cynical world, but it does have, it shines a ray of hope. It has this uplifting idealism to it, and I think that we need a little bit more of that right now. So I just want to thank you for that. Thank you for the movie, and it has been a delight to get to talk to you.
Thank you. You as well, Zach. And I'm a fan of the patterns you have going on back there. You've really got a lot of interesting geometry.